G'day, welcome to Whadjemup, also known as Rottnest Island. Today we're doing a brief history, some recent history, some stuff 100 years ago, some stuff thousands of years ago. And just show you a bit about the place and getting active. Everyone travels around with bikes. So off with the big hiking pack, and we wear different kind of hats over here. Stack hats, also known as bicycle helmets. Let's get rolling. Rottnest Island, or Whadjemup, is located 19 kilometres off the coast of Fremantle, Western Australia. The ferry gets you there in roughly 30 minutes. Today, the island is a popular holiday spot. The heritage of this place is vast and full of a numerous variety of stories. At the start of World War I, 1914, the Department of Defence used the island as an internment and prisoner of war camp. The Kingstown Barracks was completed in 1937, and the island was declared a permanent station for troops. This establishment contained living quarters, a hospital, dry canteen, workshop, store, railway buildings, and supporting communication and observation structures. In June 1940, at the early stages of the Second World War, the island was declared a prohibited area. The prohibition wasn't lifted until 1945. These days, the facilities are used for school camps. I'm going straight in there. I just realised I'm still wearing my helmet. I look like a proper tool. So I'm so used to wearing a hat. Alright. Found the perfect spot. Shoes on though. Okay. Should be good for about 5 minutes this time of day before I have to get out, sunscreen my whole body. I will confess, I haven't got as much exposure to the sun as I probably needed to over the winter. So exposing myself to the sun now, I must be smart about it.
Alright, if you're going for a swim, you don't want to wear a hat, and you're like me. Alright, bit of that, see? And a bit more. Alright. Some people might think this is gross, but this is what I grew up with. Alright? I was a little redhead. Lots of freckles. So you've got to really take care of yourself. Get in the ears, nose, everywhere. It's not easy, but one-handed. I'm rubbing some on the back of my hand here so I can wipe it off and apply it as necessary. And now what I'm doing is taking my shirt off for 5 minutes, putting it back on for 5 minutes. That's all I need. Maybe different in some other areas in the world, but in Australia, The sun kills people. The sun murders you. I've had sunburn so bad I've had blisters. So slip, slop, slap. If you like me.
There's like fly swap.
Okay, I've swapped the bike for my feet. Just got back into town from the army barracks. Now I'm going to catch the train out to the gun.
I'll come down with you.
3 points of contact. Would you be able to hold that, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the way.
Thank you.
And this is the points. So we're going to close this one and open this one. To do that, you need 2 hands. Lift it up. Once you get past halfway, drop it.
Fantastic.
But you have to do that.
Okay, great. Could you please hold this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll drop it.
That's it.
The train tracks on Rottnest Island are made in a different time. The rails weren't joined together, so you get the old-fashioned clunks and screeches as you take in the views. It's not fast and takes about 30 minutes to reach Oliver Hill. Made in the 1930s, in the build-up to the Second World War, Oliver Hill Battery is a series of tunnels and rooms below a 9.2-inch gun. It was used to protect the port of Fremantle, but it never had to fire a shot in anger.
Up to 35. Sorry? Go around 3 times before they get into send it back. Down into the storage tanks down here. So this was an important part as well. They had to lie down and carry it out. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. We're going to go down there next. So there was no chance of anything happening. so we came down the stairs in this and we went up, that was the magazine area. Now we've come down and around to the pump station. Or if we're looking at the cross section,
Okay, thanks for joining me to check out the guns and tunnels. Now I'm gonna go meet my cousin at the beach and we're gonna chill, have a swim. It's around 2 p.m. now, so the sun is pretty harsh. Gonna go put some more sunscreen on. And I mean, look,
I can wear this, but it's just not me. It's not me. I can't do it. I can't wear this hat. It's terrible.
for countless years, the view out to sea has remained unchanged. There is archaeological evidence as well as Whadjuk lore that says humans used to visit Whadjemup when it was still part of the mainland, 6,000 or 7,000 years ago. However, from the early 1800s, the British colony began to fence off the land at an alarming rate. This was Noongar land that the Whadjuk people took care of and relied on to survive. From all over the mainland, indigenous men and boys were being apprehended and sent to Rottnest Island, which was decided to be used as an indigenous-only penal colony. The men received long prison sentences for actions directly or indirectly related to the loss of their land and the other impacts colonisation had on traditional community structures and authority. Disease was rife on the island. Measles, influenza, dysentery. Many didn't survive the sentence. From the year 1838 until 1931, almost 100 years, they were sent here if they committed a crime. This burial ground, people used to pitch their tents here. No one knew about it. Now it's getting the respect it deserves. It says, the men were transported to Rottnest Island from many areas across Western Australia. They became brothers and were imprisoned at the Quad, located just south of this site. Many of the men imprisoned on Rottnest Island were leaders, warriors, and lawmen of their homelands. They couldn't understand why they were sent here. They were sent here for crimes they didn't understand. You know, they were brought up hunting animals. It's how they lived. Those who died on Rottnest Island remain here, buried at the site in front of you. Their spirits are part of the island. The traditional owners, the Whadjuk peoples, Ask visitors to take a moment to stand by the water's edge and hold a handful of sand to signify being one with the land. Then release the sand into the water to let the spirits know that you respect the land and acknowledge the Whadjuk people as the traditional owners. If it was me, you know, I grew up in Byford, and somebody comes along, doesn't speak my language, looks different to me, puts me in chains, takes me to a completely different place where I might meet other people who have, say, grown up in Byford or somewhere close. And I say, what am I doing here? Why am I here? And they'll say, we've been asking the same thing. And then you're left in a constant state of limbo where you don't know what's next. You're just sent here to live, away from all your family. Men, just like me, younger than me, older than me, never got to see their family again. If you want to find out more about what happened here, the information is out there. I can only advise that educate yourself on what happened here and what happened in Australia over the last couple of 100 years. Because there's only so much I can accurately describe. What I'm going to do... Coffee's ready. I've got a mate under the table. One could spend a week exploring this place, but my time is up for this journey and I'm off home. If you're interested in the vast history of this country, or if you're just interested in some of the best beaches in the world, perhaps Whadjemup, Rottnest Island, is worth a look. See you next time.